Good morning, everyone. My name's Helen McIntosh, and I'm the president of the South East London Chamber of Commerce. We've got, I think, a really exciting webinar about to take place, and it's entitled How Good Photography Helps Your Business Stand Out from the Crowd. And our guest speaker today is Warren King. Warren King is well known in South East London, especially in Greenwich, where he's been a professional photographer for 25 years. And in fact, we can see the image. Warren's based at Thames-side Studios in Woolwich, where you've been for the last 15 years. We can see the old tub, the Iris behind us, and behind Warren and the Thames barrier. And the other claim to fame is Warren has been the chamber photographer for 24 years, but this is the very first time that we've actually had a webinar with you, Warren. So I'm going to, if you have any questions, I suggest we do them at the end. And over to you, Warren.
Anyway, hi everyone. As Helen's introduced me, I don't think there's any more to be said, but I'm just going to go through a few things that I think is important, as well as design. Photography sort of goes hand in hand with design and the way your company stands out from the crowd. And everybody does, everybody's got phones now, they've got that capability, but and also access to stock imagery. So my thoughts on it are, as a professional photographer, is that I think it's worth investing to keep the quality and authenticity of your services and products. So you want to show what you're really about, and I'm going to show some examples. Whatever you do, whatever it's a service or product based, whether you're an individual or a company, all of these things are quite, I believe, quite important. So I'm just going to start my slideshow, and one of the first things, and one of the things I do quite a lot of, is headshots. So if you're an individual, then LinkedIn, if you're a B2B business, LinkedIn is a very, very good platform for you to get out there. And one of the first things, anybody, I've spoken to a few LinkedIn experts, haven't been on webinars like this, and they always say, your profile is one of the most important things to get you seen straight away. So the temptation is sometimes, as I said before, we've all got a camera. You go to social events and you might go, oh, look, I've got a decent picture of me that's been taken at a party or on holiday. But does that really represent you? You want to look, yes, you want to look friendly, you want to look relaxed, but also professional. So again, I would say wherever that happens, it is worth investing, getting a good headshot done for your LinkedIn profile, as opposed to a casual one, or even a selfie, which is not always great for lighting. If you're trying to do them yourself, you're doing them at arm's length, or you're getting a friend to do them, with lighting, color. Is all something to consider. The other one is keeping up to date. A lot of people say, well, I've got one up that I like, but it's 8 years old. I look great there. You look 8 years, 8 to 10 years younger, great. But is it you? If you walk into a room, is somebody going to go, oh, that's you? So again, that's another thing I think about good LinkedIn or profile headshot that you're going to use across social media, is just keep it up to date, relevant. You may have changed your hair, you may have changed, all sorts of things in the meantime. You may have put on weight, you might have lost weight, but it's good to keep up to date. And the other thing is, using branding for your image. It's that can be an accent color, and you might want to try and squeeze in something. Can be quite distracting, but ultimately you want to keep your image about your profile, your headshot. Try not to keep it too distracting. So you can use a color on that, and if you've got a particular brand color or colors, that's something you can integrate into your headshot. Doesn't all have to be plain. These are office ones, so that gives it a nice natural look. You can set it up so that you get somebody in. This was done with just one light on the left, I think it was in a lift, and a sort of lobby leading to the lift. So it's something, again, looks a bit more natural, casual. And another one in a meeting room. You can also do combinations, so you don't have to have the one headshot. You might want to have a combination of a few that you can use across your website, your social media, and something you can change, and you can freshen up every now and again. All shot on the same session, slightly different clothes. different look, a bit more casual sometimes. You know, the other thing is you may work in an industry expects you to wear a suit and tie. Again, you might maybe, you know, you don't, maybe you're, you know, into a bit of t-shirt, maybe it's something else, but it's good to show a range of pictures and something you can use across LinkedIn and elsewhere.
Recognize him.
So
oh, sorry, I was just saying I did recognize the gentleman.
Me too.
yeah, you probably would. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bayo, he's based down in Lewisham. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's still on headshots, but this time we're going to talk about meet the team or our people. This is more for a company. So if you've got a company and you've got some employees, I think the main thing, if you're going to do a page on that on your website, is good to keep consistency. And if you're going to get people in and hire them, take them on and increase your staff or employees, something that you can be repeatable. So these are all done one day, but it's a company that I go back to quite often, and I know that that's the style they want, and I you know, with the lighting and the background, I repeat that. So the picture taken 3 months apart will look you know, will have the same sort of theme to it and the same look. And again, it doesn't have to be white. Plain backgrounds are easier to replicate, to you know, repeat, because you haven't got any other variables. So if you're trying to shoot in an office with a, you know, a window, you know, might be sunny one minute, cloudy the next. So and you go back another time, might be different time of the year, different lighting. So it's, you know, when you're looking for this consistency, a consistent background. And these are actually shot to match something that was taken in Madrid. I haven't got that job yet, but who knows, I might be off to Madrid because I thought my pictures were better than the ones they did over there. And then the other thing is you want to, you know, you might have a different type of style. The company might have a style that you need to incorporate into. Again, this is a sort of a new employee, and he came in and said, look, I need a headshot, but it needs to look, I'm joining this company, and these are their other ones. So, you know, again, analyzing the lighting, background, this is something I did in the studio. So it's a one-off. And often with team photographs, it's you know, the most convenient way of doing it is in your offices, in your meeting room, somewhere where somebody hasn't got too far off the desk. So it's quite easy to set up a studio if there's enough room to set a studio up in one of those sort of spaces, and make it more convenient for your staff on a, you know, to come in for a half a day and shoot everybody there. And again, you know, there's particular sort of styles. This one where they provided a banner, so you can create your own backdrop there. This is the company branding to go with that. And you notice also these are not portrait in the sense of the format. They're actually landscape shots. So this is the way they wanted them. And again, another one like this would include a bit of their office location, and also a little bit of branding, subtle branding in the background. And again, this is something that was repeatable. So away from just pure headshots, what I like to call sort of the business profile. So this is might be for something you use in social media and across your website when you're trying to tell the story of what you actually do, or your services again, or your products. And there's a few, you know, elements you can put in this. Include your branding, which we've said about brand colors and things like that, or maybe a bit of logo that you can drop into the background. A local business here, and you know, as I say, just it tells me a bit more of a story about what's going on, rather than just the headshot's very good for making an impact on LinkedIn and a profile. But if you want to tell more of you about what you do, then there's this sort of thing. And again, you know, you can drop this in your logos in there as well. And again, it's a little bit about more the branding, but also what it's about. This happens to be sort of B&B that was in Greenwich a while ago. Highlight what you do. So this is quite important. This is a combination of somebody who makes furniture. So I think this is fairly obvious. So it gives you some of the personality and some of the, you know, the product, let's say. And this was shot for the Evening Standard for a joiner at our studios. And again, make it obvious, you know, highlight what you do. There's not much getting away with what these guys actually do, and they're running a restaurant, and it's a good, you know, portrait shot of them in action. And some other ones, you know, it's the profile picture is just a little bit more portrait profile picture, just so it's a little bit more than the basic headshot with a plain background. It tells a little bit more of the story. And again, okay, this sort of verges into, this is what somebody does, but also it makes a good press and PR picture, which I'm coming up to in a minute. But this is actually at our studio, so if you ever get the chance to come down the Thames-side, you'll see this mural on there, painted by Rosie. The other one is show your location. We had one earlier with Drury Tea and Coffee. They're down in the Royal Arsenal. And again, you know, this is may be important to where you're actually based. This is again another, you know, Woolwich Ferry, another local landmark. Or it may be that you work from home. So you've got a home office and show that that's you know, one of your locations. So it doesn't have a geographical location. It just may be a sense of where, you know, where you operate from. Again, this is more of a press PR shot, but you know, get some recognizable elements in here, which is Blackheath. And another one, you know, this is shop front, again, indicating Mary Portas, Queen of Shops, I think was her name, and about some charity shops she was working in. So again, you know, sort of location. So I'm going to move on to this. This is so we've thought about that, but it's also, I was talking about stock libraries. So you can, you know, they're very accessible. You can pay subscriptions, you can buy them royalty free, but are they authentic? And this is what I was talking about, the authenticity of what you're projecting. So again, I think it's worth, you know, I think it's very much worth you investing in getting some good a library of your own, create your own picture library. So you've got, you know, your headshots, you've got your profile pictures, you've got some of what you're doing. And this is sort of some companies I work for. So these would actually, you could easily find these in a library and look at them and go, okay, shot for a stock library. But these is actually shot in the offices. These are commissioned pictures. So they wanted their staff, their people working. So again, it's, you know, whether you're a small or large company, this is a Southern Gas Network, SGN. This is something you can create for yourself using different elements, your location, your venues, what you do, how you do it. And again, you know, there's just some elements of what you know they wanted to show about their staff, all shot on one location, so you don't have to go, you know, around different ones. You can set these up in different places. And this is you know, a progression from that is working in collaboration. So what I like to do is when somebody's trying to do a business profile of their business and show the story, it's quite important to sit down and say the client and photographer will sit down and work out what actually, I like to reverse engineer it. So people will, you know, say, oh, not sure what I need. And I said, well, you know, we need to work out how many pictures you know, you want to end up with, your final library, and what are the elements in those. So we've seen some of those elements. If you're, I know a lot of people, you know, they're doing their website, redoing or doing a brand new one. I ask them, okay, what, you know, think about the pictures that are going to go with the copy and what is the story. So you can work that and then work backwards from that and say, well, okay, we need a picture of you, headshot. We need a, you know, a bit more. We need some of you working what you do. And one of the ways of doing that I find quite effective is do a mood board. So some pictures I'm going to come on to in a minute. This mood board was put together with a coach who wanted to show how she worked. So there's different elements we talked about. And I said, okay, this was put together on Pinterest and shows some of the elements of the style, the lighting, the mood, how they wanted to look. So, you know, this is something you can put together. And so when you actually go to shoot, you've got an idea of where you're going to, the location you're going to shoot this. If you need some extra help, some stand-in models, that sort of thing. And, you know, what time of day, lighting, all that sort of thing taken into consideration. So as it says, the mood board, you work out what you want to represent. So this is a lady I work with, Michelle, as a coach, and, you know, the elements I was saying earlier, we've got a classic headshot there. We've got something a little bit more like a profile shot, a bit more relaxed, and we've got her working at home. So showing, you know, something a little bit formal and something a bit more relaxed, which is sort of her ethos in her business. Some of the things she does is she runs workshops, and, you know, this is good to show that, you know, the different ways that somebody can work. And again, you know, you need to think about your industry. Do you just do one thing? Do you do workshops? Do you make products? Do you run intimate workshops, or one for, you know, 20, 50 people? So, you know, showing that sort of thing. And again, you know, if you can get different locations, shows your, you know, the business and how adaptable it is. Another thing she did was one-to-one, face-to-face consultations. So we borrowed a venue, and we borrowed a couple of people to sit in, but this sort of represents exactly how she works. Nice and casual. She wanted people to say, you know, it's not going to be, it's going to be a relaxed atmosphere. You can go and talk to a one-to-one, and we just tried to sort of show that, that sort of atmosphere of it. And again, sort of like, you know, similar sort of pictures. So get you know, a range of people to do that. She also works online, so running Zoom, you know, would have a one-to-one on a Zoom call, but also she was doing webinars. Well, sorry, does webinars. She, you know, she arranges those sort of things. So they, you know, sort of a rounded sort of thing. And then finally, you know, her ethos was, you know, streamlining your business, giving yourself more time for your leisure activities. And this is something she did. So I suggested we go, you know, we showed her dog walking her dogs, which something she said, well, I would never have thought of that. And I said, well, this is, you know, this is part of the story of your business. And I think, you know, this is what we all aspire to, is having a better work-life balance. So I thought it was important to include this as something she, you know, if you're going to do a website and about me section, it's perfect. It shows the person behind the business as well. So another thing, you know, is getting publicity pictures, and that can be public relations and press sort of pictures, which sort of go hand in hand, really. And it's important to grab the attention and make an impact when you're doing those. So you could get a grabbed, you know, shot again with your phone and something's going on, but if you can get something that's going to stand out a little more, this is what the press love. If you're going to send something to the paper and you give them an image that really stands out, that's something that they love to use. They love ready-made copy and pictures. So if you can drop that on a journalist desk, and they'll get it in, you know, in publicity, whether it be a website or newspaper or magazine. It's just, you know, as I say, so you've got to be grab the audience attention, make it stand out, and that's going to give your company something to give your company a little bit of an edge. So these are just ones I've sort of shot over the years. Some commissioned, some shots. And the famous masthead has been going, I'm not sure how many years now, probably long as a chamber. So, you know, these go with an interview. So, you know, whether it be masthead or whether it be a local publication or something, you know, it's good to get your business on there. And if you can get the front cover, even better. These pictures would go with inside articles. So, you know, that's something you should think about, not just in photography, but just for awareness of your business and what you do anyway. And then another thing, you know, you may run events, small networking events, make conferences, you know, expos, a team building day. Again, showing a little bit of the human side behind your company, and showing you know, looking for a word here, gravitas of your building, of your business as well. So the elements of putting on an event, it can be several things, you know, and then when there's a conference, it's obviously the presenters. They're going to be good for publicity and press, whether that be in trade press or local or national press. Especially if you've got a celebrity speaker, it's good to get a record of that. If you've got a visit from somebody doing a, you know, publicity, a drop in, and maybe a special guest, the CEO. You got to make sure you get pictures of those, and this is all again stuff that you'll need to cover the event. Again, these are bigger sort of events, but you know, you want the panel. They may have travelled from another country, and on this occasion, they'd actually come internationally for this event. So it's good to get that, you know, and show what that's about. And I always think with events, these two elements are the ones that are going to be used in the future. So the presenters or the speakers or your celebrity guests may change, but if you're running the event again next year, it's always good to get attendees, show that it's busy, show that people are engaged in it. And yeah, I'm sorry, I've got to jump to an action shot, but saying about that, yeah, it's always good to have stuff going forward that you're going to be able to use in the future. So this is slightly different. So not so much of a sort of suit and tie sort of affair, but again, it could be a team building day that you want to sort of capture, and it shows a little bit about, especially if you're trying to recruit, you might go, look, that company is, we do a bit of this as well. You know, we have fun as well as work. If you're lucky enough to hold an event in the Royal Albert Hall, then, you know, that's great. But the venue, as I said, you know, along with attendees and audience, is showing where your events are going to be held, however grand. And then finally, sort of onto products. I've shown the sort of the profile on the services side, but if you're at your product, you know, make products, again, it's worth getting some good shots, studio shots, pack shots, still life, and demonstrate the quality of what you do. It's all very well, as I say, you may have spent hours, weeks, months building something, but when you want to show it off, best to get a very good quality image to be able to happen. And again, you know, this is something you could go in your library. If this gets sold, at least you've got a great record of it. If it's an individual piece, of a lot of artists at studios who make individual items, and once they're gone, they're commissioned or bought, they don't see them again, and they go, well, I've got this picture on my phone. Go, oh, you know, it's a shame. Spend all that time. Much better to invest and get a good quality picture. And for now, that is my presentation. I think I whipped through that fairly quickly.
Excellent.
So,
thank you, Warren. Do we have any questions?
Yeah.
Any questions? Well, I've got one, Warren.
yeah.
You know, when, I don't know if it still happens, but do you remember how people like Microsoft used to monitor, you know, the web, and if they caught anyone, you know, using one of their images, you know, you'd be
Getty, I think you're thinking of Getty libraries.
Yes.
They're the big picture, international
Does that
picture
still,
agency.
does that
Yeah.
still happen?
Yeah. They're pretty ruthless. They got the lawyers to do that. There are things out there. I had one a while ago where if I had pictures, I mean, you know, you're looking at more stock. You know, if I shot stock pictures, like, you know, something like this behind, and somebody goes, oh, we need a picture of Thames Barrier, and then they decide, oh, well, it's online, fair game. Don't do that.
No.
You know, there is the risk, especially with a library. I'm with a few libraries that they have their means to track these down, and you know, you're looking at a big bill from them. We know somebody who actually happened to. I think you're referring to a couple of people, and their web designer actually used the picture, and they weren't aware of, and they got a bill from Getty, and it's much more than it would be if you licensed it straight away. So, that is. So this is why a lot of the library, if you go to the libraries, they'll watermark their images and sort of protect them to a certain extent. But you know, I mean, if it's a picture, say the headshot, and it's more individual, that's less likely that that's going to be stolen for anything. So it's more the sort of stock library angle. I was going to say, I've wrote a few notes and didn't put this in, but also, especially as something like LinkedIn, it's important to have the right size of the image. So when you get the image, you may have I always supply them high res, you know, big file sizes, but then you can reduce those. And often with LinkedIn, I give people an optimized LinkedIn file size as well as the high res, because there is a limit on the the big side with what you can use, but also you don't want to use it too low res. I know I've clicked on people's profile pictures and it comes up and it's just too pixelated and they've not used the right size. And also cropping as well on that. It's good to get a square crop, which then gets used as a circle. And using most of your face rather than sort of having a full length, because you have don't have much real estate on LinkedIn for your picture. So.
Excellent. Any more questions? No, I don't think so.
They're all quiet.
Very, very quiet.
Has anybody worked? Can I ask you a question? And has anybody, Maren and Steph, I can't see Steph, but have you worked with photographers, or is it something you have in the past or would consider?
I have once. I was renting out a property and I was using my own personal pictures, and then I got a professional photographer to come in and do some, and it was just like a complete transformation. And
Mm.
and I was able to use those pictures for a few years, so that was really good. Well worth it.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't show any interiors. I've done some interiors and some architectural sort of stuff. So it's not my speciality, let's say, but I have done them. And then the other thing is a very big temptation, especially with interiors, people use a wide angle lens, because then that actually distorts the way, the scale of the place, makes it look, bigger. And then people they go, well, actually, it's not what it looks like in the picture.
That's it. And that always happens, doesn't it, with the estate agency? It's always the wide lens.
Yeah.
It does distort it. So there's another example. It's worth it. And if you're still using those pictures, I mean, sometimes they're for a one-off press publicity, but other times, as though there are pictures you can use over and again.
Yeah. It's been decorated now, so they don't look the same, so I can't use them anymore. But yeah, it's very well worth it.
We'll have to get them back in again.
Yeah. Also, I was just thinking the other benefit of using a professional is you can have like input into what the person, if they might have not been maybe using things which were appropriate or give the right impression, and because they're personally, attached to certain images, or they're sort of living it every day, they don't see certain things. So having a professional coming in, they can kind of gently give them feedback on, what,
Yeah, see it from the outside. I mean, if I'm sitting down with some, and I'm photographing somebody this afternoon actually, and we're starting off with some headshots, and I'm going to be, I said, look, let's have a chat afterwards over a cuppa and talk about what your business is about, because she was unsure of what she needed. So again, it's an opportunity for me to sit down and go, well, let's see, what do you actually need, what are the final images you need, and how do you need them to look, and what do you do? So I can be quite inquisitive and make those notes, and then from an outsider knowing very little, actually say, well, I think why don't you promote, you need to promote this, you need, this is what I'd like to see, and work it that way, so just going back to those original, the ones early in the presentation, that was a mood board is great for that sort of thing. You can sit down and go, right, let's visually put it down, and then we've got something to work from on how, so, and then there's a matter of finding a space, a time and a space, and working from there, and how, and maybe, let's say, get people in, have a change of clothes, so it doesn't look like it's all shot on one day.
Yeah.
We have a question from Steph. Are we going to see you, Steph?
Hi, good morning. Apologies, I'm a bit unwell today, so
Okay.
I won't come on camera, but thank you for the presentation, Warren. I was curious to know, how often would you recommend for businesses or people to sort of update their images? Would you say like every couple years, or every few months? What would you recommend?
Well, I think updates as your business updates, or and I did mention this earlier about if you're doing headshot, let's say if you look different for any reason, hairstyle, all sorts of things like that, and your business, I would say, well, look, if you've progressed in a couple of years and you go, well, there's something else that I offer now, then good time to do it. I don't think it's a really hard and fast rule. I would say with if you profile headshots maybe every 2-3 years, keep up to date. And also, I mean, Google likes it. If you're putting on something on your Google, or your website, SEO, and you're updating stuff, that's great. SEO, Google like that sort of thing, updating pictures.
Yeah.
So that's important, as much as, you're putting something on your profile on LinkedIn or elsewhere. So yeah, if you stay stagnant and you're happy with that, that's okay. But you've got to think about those SEO sort of things if you want to be found, and keeping that sort of your business vibrant, and
Thank you so much.
That's okay.
Okay, and I'm going to give a couple of plugs to our forthcoming events, and Warren will definitely be taking pictures. We're going to have Caribbean afternoon tea at Doubletree by Hilton in Greenwich, which is going to be great fun. So which I've never been to a Caribbean afternoon tea, but that's on the 17th of September. That's between 2 and 4. And then from anyone, Mayor and anyone working at Lewisham, we've got the Lewisham Business Breakfast with Mayor Brenda at Lewisham College on Thursday, the 19th of September. That's 8 till 9:30. And Warren will be snapping away there. They're both paid events, but I know Warren won't be taking pictures at the Lewisham Lincoln Drink because you'll be on holiday, won't you, on the 14th of August. But for the rest of us, between 6 and 8, we can all go to Everest Inn in Blackheath Village. Have you been to Everest Inn? Has anyone been? Maren, have you been to?
No, I haven't actually.
Village?
Oh, I've not been either.
Oh, well, it's really good. Book in. That's a free event, and they, you buy your own drinks there, and they do lovely canopies. Nepalese food is wonderful. So ask everyone to book in, and Warren, you'll miss that. You'll be really disappointed, won't you? But
yeah,
you'll be on
I will. I mean, it was always good food there, but yeah.
And I must say, from the Chamber's point of view, we always use a professional photographer. Always. And if Warren goes on holiday or anything like that, we have to rake around and find someone else, don't we? So he doesn't go on too many holidays, basically. So I'd just like to thank you very much, Warren, for the presentation, and this will be going up on our website. And great. I'm going to give a new plug because we have a new website that's sort of in the process of going live, which is really exciting. So start really watching South East London Chamber of Commerce website. Okay, so I'd like to say thank you.